Man, look, to be fair though, the teams are realistically and should be aiming for simply the top 16. Because, yeah, okay, you can be first at the end of group stages, but that doesn't really matter because you're going to have to do it all over again in the final. So I think teams that are in 5th to 10th, you don't really need to stress yourself, right? You just want to chill, work on a couple of things, and leave it all for the finals.
Not only that, some teams, they might get first, they might get second when it comes to the group stages. And that's only going to, you know, kind of create a magnifying glass on top of your squad moving into the finals, right? Other teams, they might look at your team because you are number one, and they might be like, what are they doing right? And how can we counter that to make sure that they don't continue doing it right in the finals? So there's a lot of different kind of strategies at play right now. Looking at this zone, though, we have 2 squads, maybe even 3 teams all the way up there by shooting range, going for a wide rotate. Master Esports, though, in North George, they're setting up for a choke point, I want to say. They might be able to acquire some points right there.
I don't think they should stay there, though, to be fair, Dave. I reckon they should actually switch on over and take that compound that's just north of the river. That would be a much better anchor point to hold on, and it would give them more information on the teams that are south of the river.
So a lot of options to go. We are very early on here in this game, and we already start to see the kill feed pop off. Nikolai with the barrel, take some shots right there. I believe even getting a point underneath their belt. So couple teams, they are running into some trouble when it comes to their rotations. But looking back at days 1 and 2, I already can tell these teams, they're playing a lot more grouped together, a lot more tighter. Because the first day, we saw a lot of these players just spread all over the place. It almost looked like they were playing their own little solo public match game. But looking at today, everybody playing ultra tight.
It is so important to play a little bit tighter than normal, right? Because you want to have those 4 players up. Yes, spread out, but having that manpower coming into the mid-late stages will make things so much easier for you. I like the shots that were fired out from Jeezy of your team, the Teletubbies. And hey, Dave, you know, you've only seen them for 4 games, but I kind of want to know, who do you think is which Teletubby? Which one is Lala? Which one is Tinky Winky?
Yeah, we were trying to determine who's the yellow one, who's the red one, who's the purple one. We couldn't really pinpoint it. We couldn't really decide whose personality is what, and that's still up for debate. I'm waiting for my answer though. I reached out to the Teletubbies. I'm trying to solve this. Right, this is one of the great mysteries out here. But talking about one of the great mysteries, we're currently looking at one of the squad mates from Gajin Ronin, BB, stuck behind a boulder.
Gaijin are a team who back in the last year's PMCO fall split, if I am not mistaken, really impressed us, myself and Maximum Mikasa, but they fell off quite heavily towards the end. I'm hoping it is a different roster, to be fair. I am hoping that they don't do the same this year, that they are a little bit more consistent across the board, evolve, and they get better and better.
So if you had to offer, one piece of advice from last season to this season for that squad, what would it be? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but what would it be?
It'd be to adapt to how the other teams are improving, because you can start off strong yourself, but you got to know when you start off strong, other teams are going to look at you as a target and counter you as quickly as possible. Talk about quickly as possible, though, Dave, that phase 3 circle shifting down southwest.
Yeah, this is good. We haven't had a zone like this yet when it comes to the EU West. We haven't had the opportunity to really have the mountain in play. And I'm curious what squad is going to decide to go up there, get those very high vantage points, and maybe even set up for a nice little camperino up there. Because if the next zone does shift to the north, oh, baby, you are in a prime location, Imperium.
I guarantee if the next circle shifts up north, you will have a minimum of 3 teams going up Everest. One in the center if they do go up in this circle, and then you have one either side, because they are viable areas of the mountain to hold on to each side, and the center is of course pretty adaptable. One thing that I'm surprised about, to be fair, Dave, is the fact that nobody did go up to the Everest train in the first couple of circles. Normally we see it happen. I'm still wondering if it's a good or a bad thing, because it normally happens. I kind of like that nobody's done it so far in this game.
You like that? I think the Teletubbies, they're definitely at least thinking about it. We're starting to see them go for that wide rotate. They're not getting shot. This compound that we see no limits in as well, that's a very solid compound. And we've seen it in the past. That's pretty much a really strong counter to the top of the mountain as well. You have nice cover. You got some sight lines, and if that zone does shift to the south and you're on top of the mountain, the position that no limits are currently holding, it's just a bloodbath for the opponents.
That was really solid scouting from Jeezy, by the way. It's very understated, underrated, and he knew he could get away with it because the team had been in their position for quite a while, so they could look to just slowly go up that slight hill incline and look around. You saw Jeezy pull that off, and that's given him more confidence to make his way up on the side of Everest, and maybe pulling off a little bit earlier than expected, but thinking about that northern shift in the next phase, trying to lock in a spot.
Be my loot. No points so far. No points so far. So if they could hear the push, hear the buggies from the Teletubbies, and get a little intel on the approach from behind, this could be their first kills here in PMCO group stage, and that would be a huge relief, right? Because I can only imagine this is day number 3. This is their second day playing. No kills so far, so the pressure is definitely there. If they can get a squad wipe, that is 1,000% going to help them with their confidence.
Next phase is going to show through, and it's going to be southeast. Dave, is it just me, or have these circle shifts being very kind of left to right, kind of up and down? It hasn't been too clean.
Well, I know you kind of got spoiled over there casting those North America games, where it's center every time. Here in the EU, we like to troll the players. We like to send them with those yoinks and really test their scouting and rotational abilities over here. So currently looking at Be My Loot, Teletubbies in a standoff right now on top of that mountain. That mountain no longer in play. Heading on over to the Gatka Chopsticks. We got some action.
Yeah, you got the side of Rozavlia. Never heard that name, but either way, holding on to Chopsticks really well, engaging onto the members of Entropics, getting that early kill. They'll have to be careful because there's going to be quite a good few teams rotating around that area, while Hate Gaming are going up against the side of No Hate.
It only took 2 magazines of the AKM to get that thirst from Sankiz, but we'll get back to that because right here, we look like we're pulling up on the tail end of Hate Gaming EU. They did lose 1. I believe they might have been crashed over here on this compound, and for good reason. I mean, this cover is right there on that east side, and they better hurry up and heal back up because we see some other teams out there on that west side in the distance also possibly thinking about making the breach.
Nice grenades from Rosalvia onto the side of 7 Esports. It's such a simple way of creating control without over peaking, right? You chuck those grenades, you send the opposing team back even more. As teams are rotating through the blue zone, closing in on phase 4, you're instantly seeing way more shots fired across the board.
So right there, 7 Esports. This is the same thing that Hot Jukes was pointing out yesterday. 7 Esports, they tend to receive some shots and immediately deploy smokes on top of themselves. And I know Hot Jukes, if he was here, he would be he'd be on the edge of his seat because when you deploy those smokes on top of you, it blocks your own sight line. And that's something that I know he likes to stress a lot of times. And right now, we're seeing they're being punished big time. I mean, they blocked their own sight lines, and now everybody's just taking shots on top of them, and they have no idea where it's coming from.
Smokes are all well and good, but it also exposes people to your position even more because where there's smoke, there's fire, Dave, and fire needs to be put out, and Rosalvia are ready to put that fire out, but they also need to be aware that another team has encroached on their space in the top 6 area. That is the side of Deus Legion. Deus Legion chucking out their own smokes in that gap. I think that's good because it's not too many smokes, it's just enough to give them a little bit of a wall.
DTT trying to toss out some grenades. All it takes is one nice grenade right on top of them, and they will explode because they're in quite the bowl. The blue zone going to be right there on the backsides of Deus Legion. They need to push these smokes. They're going to clear out very shortly. This is going to be a bloodbath over here in the chopsticks.
Oh man, and as the next phase pops up, you're gonna see it really punish a lot of these teams because look at that, there's absolutely no real terrain in players. Rosalia, one of their players gets knocked down. This could be the call. Yes, Rich is low in health, but Dave, you gotta see, they smell an opportunity to strike.
And they're moving together as a unit. Now, no time to heal. Rich in the front lines, about 5% HP. Busta with that pre-fire and the M4, not able to connect those shots. And hey, they are cleared out right there. Cleared out. And just in time because the next zone does shift up there to the north. So they don't have a lot of time to heal up and regroup their mindset, their game plan, and execute it. Especially with our squad over here, 7 Esports. They're going to try to gatekeep them at all costs.
Man, 110%, and can just this circle has no real clear terrain other than maybe the northern and the northeastern hills, so it's going to be so difficult for all these teams down south finding a space inside this circle.
Bazooka driving up with that buggy, missing a tire, no care in the world, was able to get behind that hay bale. Is going to be spotting out the smokes from uncalled for. Also using these smokes, they are just right smack in the middle of this field, trying to heal up, trying to get those resets. But look at this Imperium. We got some potential drive-bys happening right now.
Oh, hell yeah, baby. As the teams look to push in from the outskirts of the circle of this phase 5, the teams that are already in there are going to be looking in towards their sightlines. But credit where it's due to a number of these teams down south. They found a hay bale. They found a little bit of a space that they can prone down, thrown out a couple of well-calculated smokes. I'm very impressed with how Deus Legion are playing these smokes plays. It's so well-calculated to begin with.
I'm impressed they're still alive because they were heavily battered just a couple of moments ago, and they're going to be in a field, right? I mean, all eyes on them for the most part, but popping on over here, Hate Gaming EU down to just a duo and a dream right there on the edge of the west side. They got a squad right above them, but these two teams, they can kind of help each other out for the time being as we start to see Jaja with that DP looking out there in that field, just trying to get some additional kill points.
This is first and second on the leaderboard, right beside each other, being kind of actually together without touching upon each other. Because here's the thing, 4 remaining men know they can't really overextend that hillside because they'll get third party, and Hate Gaming can't really encroach on the 4 remaining men because they'll get third party. So they're actually mutually living together as phase 6 shifts up north.
And honestly, if you're 4 Romanian men, you got your whole team up, right? So no reason to overextend and potentially lose a squad mate, especially when we're heading towards that late game. I mean, the more squad mates you have up, the better chances you have to get that chicken dinner. That is just a fact. And checking on the opposite end of 4 Romanian men, no limits, 5 kills, similar to 4 Romanian men, still with the entirety of their team alive, Imperium. This is huge.
But I would actually recommend that they take a bit of a risk and send one of their players into circle down the hill, because if they leave it too late and they have to push downhill on the next phase, it becomes a lot harder because the teams down the bottom are going to have free space to shoot. As No Limits Nicola finds AWM. That is pretty good by No Limits. Hey, why not take advantage of your high ground while you have it?
I mean, we see one of their squad mates
through, but in the end, 4 Romanian men come out on top.
4 Romanian men clocking in to day number 3. They had to sit on the sidelines yesterday. They saw Hate Gaming overtake them by, I believe, 5 points on the overall leaderboard. And they're like, nah, we're taking that spot right back. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 Romanian men with the first winner chicken dinner of day number 3. Wow, what a game, man. I mean, Be My Loot, 3rd place. What a game, Imperium. That was pretty hype, man.
It was pretty hype, and you had the circles shifting and ping-ponging from left to right. You had teams hunkering down and protecting their area. The team I'm probably most impressed with has got to be Deus Legion, because they came in from the south when I think it was phase 5 shifted heavily up north in the favor of Be My Loot, No Limits, and 4 Romanian men. You know, Deus Legion.
Not only that,
they
had to remember in the chopsticks. Remember the fight in the chopsticks? They had to they had to wipe out that team first to even have the chance to push into that that hard shift up there to the north. So out of the 3 teams, I'm going to say, they definitely had the most challenging time when it comes to just not being favored with the zones.
And the fact that they got 11 kills speaks for itself. And, you know, and I mentioned it, the well-calculated smokes at the right time, unlike 7Cs that you mentioned, the Hot Jukes hates, you know, you throw out 6 to 7 smokes. Deus Legion, they pulled out 2, maybe 3, in little areas that they knew they could still move around and get information from, but was protecting them when it mattered.
And you know who's going to be kind of scratching their head just a little bit? No Limits, man. We saw them. They had the whole team up. I believe it was Nikolai honking that horn to that Dacia saying, "Get in, boys, load up. We are sending it." And, you know, it looked like Nikolai had the game plan, but just, you know, kind of showed a little hesitation, I feel, midway through the plan, right? Like, didn't execute it all the way. Nikolai was in their car, changed their mind at the last moment, and, you know, No Limits, they ended up losing 2 of their squad mates out of 4 at the very end. And of course, you know, having the more squad mates up at the end, the better chance you get at that chicken dinner. For Romanian men, they showed us that. But my goodness, I mean, that just goes to show you how nerve-wracking that final zone was for all the players.
It was very tough. It was all open end, and you had the kind of high ground where Be My Loot and No Limits were for an extended period of time. Then you had the low ground, which was held onto by Deus Legion. With regards to No Limits, they had a very good game, but it was just a kind of lack of execution on what was a good idea. Maybe they didn't execute it early enough to create that space and allow Deus Legion to pull into the center of the circle. So just little things like that. If No Limits evolve on it, we will see them easily get at the top of the standings overall.
Well, that was game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We got another game, Sanhok, coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with that next match. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and a big thank you to our sponsor, Xiaomi Innovation for Everyone. I'm Mustache Dave, joined with Imperium today, and hey, we are getting ready for that next map, Sanhok, of day number 3 of the PMCO group stages. Imperium, game 1, pretty hectic, my man.
It was hectic to say the least. It was a bit painful, but then again, you know, that's the way RNG can be. Damn entertaining for myself and yourself, no doubt, but for the teams, definitely wouldn't have been the easiest to deal with. I am excited coming into Sanhok though, and what we're going to see from these teams, because that map, to be fair, can be just as hectic as what we saw in Erangel.
Yeah, I mean, what do we see there? 4 Romanian men clutching it out towards the end right there. Huge game for them. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. But I'm not going to lie. I mean, I have to point out, Be My Loot, you know, coming into today,
Fair.
0 points. 0. Like, they played a whole day and got 0 points. I mean, it's a big deal for me because I can only imagine they finished, third place that last game. They were able to get 17 points. So they went from being dead last to now in 24th spot on the overall leaderboards. And they got some kills to go with it. So, I mean, as the days progress, this is exactly what I like to see. These teams kind of loosen up a little bit and play their own game.
And for Be My Loot specifically, because they had such a torrid first 4 games for themselves, it's important that they keep this up. Yeah, I don't directly expect another third place, another 17 points, but it's very important that they get top 5, top 6 with another 5 or 6 kills just to really add to that consistency. Because if they go down to another 0 point, that'll be 5 out of their 6 games with 0 points. That is pretty much making it.
They can't afford it.
They
yeah,
can't
I mean,
afford
they
it.
just
Yeah.
get, like, they already had their throwaway games, right? And that was day number 1. Day number 1,
Exactly.
we can forget about it, right? It never happened. Wink, wink. I mean, even though it did happen, but as far as their mindset goes, right? Just totally
Exactly.
forget about it. Use this last game as your benchmark for what your squad can accomplish moving forward, and just feel good about yourself. And I think that's what we're going to start to see from a lot of our squads moving forward. And like you said, Sanhok, man, that is a pretty hectic map, so it could be a toss-up on who takes that winner chicken dinner for this game.
Oh yeah, it is very very much about how well you can get the circle. But of course, you know, it's not just going to be Sanhok that's played for game 2. You're going to have Miramar in game 3 and then back to Erangel for game 4. So, you know, the 3 maps in 2021 Pubg Mobile competitive do give very, very different varying degrees of experience needed, adaptability, and just a strong level of suppose team strength needed.
Well, let's check out the overall rankings. I know we've been chatting about it all day long, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. First place for Romanian men. Look at those kills, though. 41 kill points. 8 Gaming EU, 41 kill points. Wow, I mean, the competition here, it is just, it is starting to stack up here.
It really is. And then you have No Limits in 3rd and Deus Legion in 4th. Now, to be fair, both of those teams, and actually all 4 of these teams, have played an extra game compared to Laka Nostra Power. So that, you know, we all know that's going to change. But for Deus Legion, for No Limits, that is going to be a huge level of a confidence boost coming into the next game and the rest of the day.
Yeah, and this is the next page. So, ladies and gentlemen, the main objective here for the PMCO group stage, you want to find yourself on that first page, top 16. The top 16 teams after all of the group stage games will move on to the PMCO Finals, and that's when it starts to get really sweaty. So, right now, as of right now, This group in particular, Groups A versus Group C, they have 7 more games to go. 7 more games to go. So it is going to be quite the nail biter, especially if you are in Group A, because Group A, they're not playing the last day. They are finishing their games on the second to last day. So they need to get as many points as possible, because that last day, they're just going to be sitting on the sidelines, hoping and praying that they are in that top 16. But ladies and gentlemen, it is Sanhok time. Get ready, fasten your seatbelts. We will be heading on into Sanhok. The players, they're ready, Imperium. They are ready. They are locked and loaded.
Welcome to the jungle, baby. We got fun and games, Mustache Dave. I'll tell you what, these teams have got everything they've got in their arsenal to conquer the craziness that Sanhok brings to the table. We all know that the playing path isn't really important in Sanhok because it's a small map. What I'm looking out for is how many teams look to utilize the eastern side of this map, because I've seen quite a bit in the past. Not too many teams tend to drop in the east, and it tends to be a very solid area to land, loot, and then rotate into these circles.
East side, the best side. That's what you're saying right now. So 7 Esports, they're going over there. They're taking your advice, man.
Hey, what can I say? I like their train of thought.
Oh, first circle does pop up right now. Like, you nailed it on the head. I mean, circle number 1 takes up a large chunk of this map just in general. So everybody should be fairly satisfied with their drop spots so far. I do see a couple teams. They're going to be, hovering near each other on top of one another. High 10 in particular, we got 2 teams. Looks like we got 2 teams trying to fight for Camp Bravo. So we might have kind of similar to game number 1, some early game action here.
Now, we did see Gun in the first game get a 1v4 squad wipe on their drop spot against another team. I forget who it was, to be fair, but they are dealing with a different beast in this Sanhok Hatting Drain. It's Deus Legion. They had a fantastic game 1. They're currently in 4th. So they will definitely want to be a little bit more careful, and if a knock does come on through for Gun, that they look to actually use the whole team to capitalize on that rather than leave it to just one player.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is a different team that they are going to be sitting over here hot dropping. And something that's kind of interesting, right? Yesterday, Group C played. So Group A, they were able to sit on the sidelines and kind of scout out and do their homework and kind of observe, who drops where. And, I suggested, if you are in Group A, maybe look for those weaker teams from Group C from yesterday and maybe drop near them. I mean, it could be 4 points real early on. You might as well take advantage. So that's something to think about here.
I love the flank position from DTT. Although he's not like in a building, he's on the off angle, which he's able to provide a real strong level of information. It's just important he doesn't get knocked. Talk about getting knocked, though. Gaijin seemed to have gotten a couple of knocks and kills onto the side of Master Esports. Early game action is definitely not uncommon in Sanhok.
Early game action, you have to assume, some players, they might not even have a helmet, maybe no vest, the med situation extremely low. So that's exactly what we have just saw out there in the distance. Checking on in, mixed squad. Now, they got 3 members inside the compounds over here kind of setting up, but I did notice one of their squad mates all the way on the outskirts. So I'm curious if mixed squad, if they are able to get a knock, if they're going to take full advantage of that, or wait for their squad mate to group up with them so that they can at least have 4 versus 4.
And I now remember it was Republic of Kosovo that got 1v4'd against Gun in game 1. So they've got to be licking their wounds even coming into this game 2 and kind of going, we can't let this happen again. So they will play, in my eyes, with a little bit more caution in this poor man's boot camp terrain.
I mean, this is a classic standoff right here. I'm still looking for Dynamic from Mixed Squad. Like, Dynamic is still out there on the hill. You know, yes, you had the high ground advantage, but if the Republic could kind of work together as a unit, move together as a team, they're going to have the advantage here, in my opinion.
Well, I agree, but having the advantage doesn't always guarantee you that squad wipe. Nice grenade being chucked up by Jack. Has an idea. It's just going to send Totoro back. I do like the fact that Totoro is using that TPP perspective to get a little bit of information, and Jack is in a position where, to be fair, he can't move away from there because each side of him is open-ended as the drop shot comes on through, but Dynamic is going to get the first knock.
Yeah, there we go. Dynamic grouping up with their squad mates. Nissy trying to make a play. Drop shotting in the open. No cover at all. Forcing a revive. So that's going to leave one of the squad mates from the Republic trying to get the pickup. And we hear the pre-fire. We see the pre-fire. Can they connect? Another one down from the Republic. And Thurston.
Man, this is not looking good for Republic of Kosovo. It is a bit of a 1v2 here right now, but on towards that off angle, it's going to be Nissy left on his own. He gets one, but in the end, the players of Mix come in and mix things up to get the squad wipe.
I believe Dynamic got 2 of those knocks, and yeah, the Republic taken down in 16th position once again, but this standoff as well has been on the cusp of erupting, and it's full-blown underway. Oh, Garquin, though, I didn't see that one coming, ran right into that barrel and was immediately just deleted. Woo! That was a deletion. That was a deletion, all right? Like, that's taking the file from the desktop and dragging it to the recycle bin, and there you go. It's done. Like, that, it just happened like that. It's done.
Like, I feel sorry for Kraken because of that, because it was just like you said, you walked into it and, oh man. But Deus Legion, they're getting now attacked upon by the side of Be My Loot. Now, of course, one thing that we have to know of is the fact that these players don't see what squad or what player is knocked down or what squad is wiped until it's a full squad wipe. So, in theory, Be My Loot, they might not have full information on how many players of Deus Legion are in Hatting, so they are going to hover along those wall lines to try and grab some information.
But I do appreciate Be My Loot trying to be proactive here, right? I do appreciate that.
Sure.
They heard the gunshots, right? They definitely heard the gunshots. Might have even seen the kill feed just a little bit. And they're trying to push up. They're trying to get some more points. Now, they did lose one in the process. 1-for-1 trade. They do have 1 kill. But like we talked about on the pre-show, Be My Loot coming off of their hottest game yet here for the PMCO group stage, and that was game number 1. They got 17 points. So they're looking to continue on with that momentum.
Seeing call for and the kill feed getting a nice little bit of a cheeky knock. Teams will have to consider the fact that phase 2 is about to pop up, and it could be a very important phase 2, right, Dave? Because phase 1 was very heavily centered around the trifecta compound that, you know, you have the mainland, North and Southwest Island in play. If phase 2 shifts harsh in any of the directions or any of the parts of Sanhok, it will force you to make either a harsh rotation or actually look to control a strong position in phase 2. So don't get tunnel vision by a fight. Do be aware of what's coming up.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if you aren't favored in the next zone, sometimes we tend to see when it comes to Sanhok, teams, they might just, you know, kind of forget about playing the zone and just go for those kills to kind of offset that risk, because Sanhok, you can run over a hill, and next thing you know, you got 4 snakes looking right in your direction. And there you go. You're done. You're done. I mean, that's just how crazy Sanhok is. So I'm looking forward to see how that one unfolds. We saw a couple of moments ago, Entro pick. You got little 4 corners going on over there. They're you know, like we were talking about, one of these teams just trying to sneak it out, trying to catch a squad off guard on their rotations. But checking on over here, we got the Runes. We got a couple teams, and everybody just kind of waiting to see where that next zone goes. And we get that next shift. It is going to be down there, just a smidge to the west, the southwest.
7 Seas, I find it weird to begin with that you were entering the north of Quarry. I thought you might wait until phase 2 pops up, and with this kind of rotation, you could have gone south of Quarry, come in via the bridge just north of Camp Charlie, and you would have an absolutely excellent position inside this phase 2. But it's PMCO, so you're not maybe expecting that much, I wouldn't say adaptability, but dynamic ability in terms of rotating and having more of an idea where teams might be around you. Either way, 7 Seas, at least they have moved close to this phase 2.
We'll see. We'll see what they can do. Chaos Legion, the duo, still alive. B Malut was trying to take the fight with them a couple moments ago, but the next zone does go on up. B Malut just straight up turned their backs, just saying, forget about it. We got to get into the zone. Chaos Legion, they recognize that. We saw right there, they spotted out at least 1 or 2 of these enemies running this way. B Malut, they need to be a little careful though. I mean, they're just straight up running. Chaos Legion could definitely take advantage and backstab them right there if they're not careful enough.
So true. I do like the fact that they are thinking about their circle, because they have quite a decent distance to go. Plus, they're on the Northwest Island, which has the Big Chungus Mountain, and they're on the north of the Big Chungus Mountain. You don't see much down south, so you really have to go on top or around the mountain to really get some kind of information on the edge of this phase 2, while Rosalvia and No Limits are pretty close to each other on Boot Camp Hill, Dave.
Yeah, this could be a pretty solid fight right here. I mean, Rosalia up there on the top with the high ground advantage. No Limits, by the way that they're just standing still behind their cover, I have to assume that they spotted out at least an enemy up here. They're just kind of waiting it out. We hear some gunshots out there in the distance, and everybody quickly turns their head to check it out, see if they get a quick little pop out there, and this could be the moment for No Limits. Like, if No Limits hears some shots from uphill, they can assume that squad is going to be distracted, right? So No Limits, they might have that little window of opportunity to kind of push up behind them, catch them off guard here.
And I know they've been looking in the direction of Boot Camp, right, to make sure that they aren't pulled off from teams coming from Paradise Resort direction. However, let's be fair, none of their players are in a bit of a compromising position. And even though it's only phase 2, what we do tend to see from teams in Sanhok is that they take a bit too long to either start, get into, or finish an engagement, and that really hurts them as we get into further into the game, because there's automatically in Sanhok, compared to other maps, way more potential for third party.
And just to kind of go back to that fight, or not that fight, but the standoff, No Limits, they definitely have a lot more to lose, right? So I can understand why they are playing ultra passive. They are currently in 3rd place on the overall leaderboard, and they definitely don't want to get taken out right now. 14th place will get you 0 points, and with 0 kills, that's a goose egg right there. Next zone does going up, and this is interesting. We got a good amount of water in play. I mean, right down the middle here.
I see what you mean by these EU circle shifts. All right, very much ping pong from left to right. And did you and Hot Jukes do something, or pull in some witchcraftery on these circles? But before PMCO, when I casted it, they were fine, they were normal. Whoa.
Now I'm gonna get a bunch of spam about how it's my fault. Relax, all right? I mean, maybe I messed up a couple numbers, but we're not gonna discuss that, all right? You signed an NDA. Come on, Imperial, what's going on?
Sorry, man. I let it slip. I couldn't help it. I just don't want to get blamed.
You're gonna hear from the boys. You're gonna hear from the boys. All right, after that slip up. So, look at this though. 7 Esports, Bazooka, trying to flush out the snakes over here. That's definitely going to alert Entro pick that we have some enemies slowly working their way uphill. Bazooka, if I'm not mistaken, they found themselves in a fight in this very location yesterday on Sanhok, so they should be feeling real comfortable with this.
They should be, but the thing about Sanhok is the second you start feeling comfortable is the second you get caught out. You should never truly feel comfortable in Sanhok, and that's what's happening to Be My Loot. They got comfortable in hatting, they maybe got comfortable rotating, and now they're getting caught out by the side of Master Esports.
Just unlucky. I mean, we got all this water in play. Imperium's trying to blame me for it. I don't know whose fault it is, but Be My Loot. Be My Loot. Ooh, okay, you're going to be able to get a trade at least onto ALVI. Let's see if we get the follow-up grenade. Now, Be My Loot, they still have a squad mate. I don't know where they... I think what happened, Be My Loot just said, all right, boys, we're not going to make it alive, so let's just go our separate directions, and best of luck to you. Hopefully you make it, and I think that's what the game plan is right now for the duo still alive.
Question for you, Dave. In the first couple of days in Sanhok, or actually in any of the games, but I kind of put Sanhok to this more heavily. Did any team or player pull out a med strat coming into phase 5, phase 6? Did we see any teams try to pull that out of the bag?
Not at all. Not at all. The med strat, I know, is really popular on Vikendi. That is no longer in the competitive. No, yeah, we'll get back to that. No, yeah, with the wraparound AKM, but the jump shot from the GOAT definitely showing us why they named themselves that, because they had barely any health, but they were able to get that 7.62 off right in time. Back to the med strat, though. Are you trying to say Jetmir should be medding off right now because they're solo, or what would you do?
Well, I mean, I'm a fan. Well, yeah, in this situation, because he's only got 5 bandages. But let's say he was to get a squad wipe right now. He could loot up the players and master, get that heal strat, and then be prepared for it. Because look at this phase 4. It's centered up. You still have the river in play. You know, by the time they get to the edge of the circle, most of the teams have already, you know, gotten into a controlling position. So it's not going to be easy. As Be My Loot Jetmir goes down, that's the end of them.
Yeah, so maybe if they were to heal up just a little bit and avoid those sight lines, they might have survived just a little longer, remain undetected. Entropic, though, this is the fight that has been on the precipice of occurring for some time. Entropic, they're on the high ground. 70 Sports were slowly creeping their way on up, but I see the mini-map. There's another team trying to get that sandwich action on right now.
Oh, Entropic. This is their kind of map, but they get third-partied, like you said, by 4 Romanian men. You don't watch your back, you don't prepare for it, you don't get the information, and that finds a lot of teams in that kind of situation getting caught out. But another fight is breaking out between Teletubbies and Mixed Squad.
Let's go Teletubbies. Let's go Teletubbies. Go back to the compounds. Wait this one out. You got the zone. Let other players die. But going back real quick, 4 Romanian men, they heard the gunshots. Yeah. They ran uphill. They took full advantage of that. I mean, they knew 2 teams were distracted fighting each other. Man, that was just, that's the high level thinking that we're starting to see from that squad.
Nice. Couple of grenades potentially being cooked up in that fight on towards the compounds. There's no limits. Put the pressure on towards the players of Roseville, but it makes me wonder, why aren't they looking to push that a bit more aggressively? They have to make it into the circle. Time's ticking down. You're allowing those revives to pull on through. That is, once again, a missed opportunity and a poor execution on what was an initial strong engagement from No Limits.
Well, they got to be careful, because we're seeing in the kill feed that Rosalind, they're getting third-partied, right? They're getting knocked left and right because of the third parties. So No Limits, they really need to think this one out and kind of recognize which angles are safe to try to make that push. And I believe that's why we saw them play so passive. Now, the one thing I'm really surprised about is they kept Banana out there in the blue. I feel like Banana is just taking unnecessary damage right here. They need to push up just a little more. I see the game plan. Catch them off guard from behind, right? Like, that makes perfect sense. But Banana's taking a lot of time and a lot of unnecessary blue damage.
I would like to have seen one of the other No Limits players make a bit of noise to try and bait Rosovia into that mistake, into that exposing position for Banana. But because none of them are making noise, what are you really expecting from being inside the blue zone? So I totally agree with you there, Dave. However, let's see if it works out for them.
Yeah, we'll have to pay close attention to the kill feed as other teams starting to pop off some shots. I believe that's the Teletubbies right there, all grouped on top of one another. They might have got a nice little shot onto Dexter. Dexter crawling their way behind this boulder. They should be able to get the pickup. Uncalled for, though. A duo making the push, and Rosalia, they're just getting peppered from all angles. Imperium wiped out, my man. They wiped out. I mean, they took too much time up there, not really doing anything, right? And then the next zone pops, and they're running down the hill. Just everybody looking in their direction. Just unlucky.
Phase 4, Phase 5 onwards, being high ground like that, unless it's a very controlling position, is so hard to deal with. And Sushi of 4 remaining men going onto the side of No Hate, while mixed squad are able to survive on the blue, at least as a two-man team for now.
I got Sushi, Dexter in the water. They got the smokes. Woohoo! What? Teletubbies! I see you, Teletubbies. They got 2 up right now. Gonna be a very, gonna be a very challenging push. I mean, another team on top of the hill, cresting right over there. All these snakes in the grass looking behind them. Teletubbies, they are just dead to rights. They need to toss out those smokes right now to give them a chance to even close the gap and continue fighting in that next zone.
Great job getting the revive onto Chills. That's going to be very important for the push through. You mentioned the smokes. 100% they have to pull those out of the bag. But for Romanian men, they still have a couple of players in, hunkering down on the water side. If they can make it in to that bridge area, might not be in the water, but it will at least maybe give them a little bit more protection while they're also engaging onto the players of Hate.
Exactly. The duo from 4 Romanian men just use the water, swim, survive. Uncalled for, though. Woo! With the Garoza, go that spray down. Rex from No Limits saying, see you later, trying to run away, reposition right there. Able to get behind this boulder. Banana going to be crawling over here. If Banana can crawl, it's not going to work. The blue zone closing in just a little bit. I think Banana is going to be dead right there, but uncalled for. Trying to go for that reset.
Yeah, that's a bit risky, but I can definitely respect it. We still have 6 teams, 11 players, while Banana is getting revived up. That's going to be the end of Gaijin.
I'm so surprised uncalled for let Banana just crawl that far. I believe Banana finally taken out right there. 4 teams to go here, Imperium. 4 teams to go.
Hate Gaming are still in. I thought they were getting very heavily pushed upon by the side of 4 Romanian men, but it seems like Jaja and Hater were able to stave off the pressure, getting a little bit of sweet revenge onto the side of 4 Romanian men who currently hold on to the top spot. 3 teams, 6 players left. That is 2v1v3, my friend.
Jaja tossing smoke, blocking their own sightlines, and then taking some random shots right there. One thing I have started to realize, Jaja zigging and zagging, getting tagged up. I believe still alive, going to be forced to heal on up. Uncalled for, though. Right in the middle of the zone. Now tossing a molly. Done. Groza too strong.
Nah. Grows are too strong indeed, and it makes me wonder, why didn't Hater push with Jaja so at least they could get some kind of counter knocked or refrag, but now he's trying to hold on into the blue. Grenade is being cooked up, gonna look for that final kill. That could be a Kobe. It is. Match is over. Uncalled for win in Sanhok.
So, I mean, let me ask you right now, would you consider that from Hater the heel strip that you were talking about? Because they did get second place. I know they didn't heal off for that long, but just the fact that Hater didn't push, I know, I agree with you. I would have liked to saw that push with Jaja. I would have at least given him a 2v2 at the end right there. But the heal off, able to secure that second place and get those 12 points right there, Imperium.
That's a really good question. I wouldn't consider it a heel strap because it was only one placement position extra. It was a very valuable extra placement position and deserves the credit for it. But I definitely wouldn't call it a heel strat in terms of, going from seventh or eighth up to third or second. So great job. No limits coming in the top three once again. So two consistent games in a row for themselves. And hey, uncalled for. I wasn't sure they were going to be able to hold on to the high ground, especially when there were still two or three players of no limits left standing. But they took advantage of what was maybe, once again, poor execution from the side of no limits in terms of going for the revive onto Banana.
Yeah, and coming into that last game, or coming into that game that is, uncalled for, 14th place on the overall leaderboard. So that chicken dinner, you have to assume, is just going to shoot them up there.
Yeah.
But looking at Sanhok, we saw a lot of teams, they had that right mindset. And, we've seen it so many times in the past. If you're on the high ground, most of the time you have an advantage. Only if the zones favor you. Once when that zone doesn't favor you and you have to run downhill, which we saw there for multiple teams, it could become a shooting range. But uncalled for, they managed to just continue to survive with their smart placements of smokes.
Yes. I don't think I could have said that better myself. The placement of smokes from uncalled for were very valuable. The hill that they were playing on did have quite a few rocks, but if you're relying on just the rocks and you have utility, you're missing that opportunity. And uncalled for definitely did miss that opportunity. For Mania Men, 7 points only. Considering where they are in the standings, yeah, they don't need the points, but I was thinking they would have a little bit more of a control coming into the late stages of the game, but they seem to fall apart a little bit for whatever reasons.
Well, falling apart or not, ladies and gentlemen, they have 2 more games to go. Miramar coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty insane games 1 and 2 here today for the EUS PMCO group stage. Big shout out to our sponsor, Xiaomi, innovation for everyone. I'm Mustache Dave, joined with the beautiful man Imperium.
Is it also innovation for me? Can I be included, Dave? Or
Innovation for everyone. So you are
yes.
1000% included.
Thank just sometimes it's nice to be reassured, just sometimes it feels good to be reassured with some things. But either way, despite my insecurities, 2 games down, right, Dave, as you said, 2 games to go. We're gonna be moving on to Miramar. And yeah, the first 2 games have been pretty wild. I know it's easy to say that, but I've been surprisingly surprised with the action and the team fights and how some of these teams have been playing so far.
So I asked you this question. I asked you this before game number 1. All right, I said,
Okay.
were you able to? Are there any differences between? Because you've been casting the NA group stages, all right? Now you're coming over here, testing out the waters, EU group stages. Are there any differences now that you have 2 games? You watch 2 games. Like, is there a different feel, different vibe? Are teams more aggressive, or do you still think it's the same?
Overall, I do believe it's still the same, but if I was to nitpick, I would say that European region tends to be a little bit more aggressive, but NA tends to be a little bit more strategical and calculated with the rotations. How that benefits the different teams, of course, as I said, I think overall it balances out. But if I was to nitpick, I do think the EU teams are just a bit more aggressive, not afraid to go in for the fights, whether it's as a 2-man team or a 3-man team or full squad. And I think broadcast wise and for us as casters, it does make it a little bit more entertaining.
So EU teams confirmed by Imperium play aggressive, play a lot better, and NA teams real passive campers playing that rat game, not even moving a muscle until the very end. Probably all getting taken down from the blue zone. Imperium said all the NA teams get taken out from the blue zone. Hey, EU, it's the place to be. Hey, Imperium, I'm happy you said that, man. Somebody finally pointing that out. Well, I believe we have scoreboard. So, I mean, let's check out the scoreboards because I'm sure in NA everybody's on like 5 points. But over here in the EU, 4 Romanian men, 92. Hate Gaming, 92. Wow, my goodness. It is starting to get top heavy out here.
And both teams have the exact same placement points and the exact same kill points. So the only thing that is putting 4 Romanian men on top is that extra golden chicken dinner. So that kind of says to me the Hate Gaming have been a bit more consistent out of the games they haven't won, which is right now 5 because they've won 1. So will that trend continue? Either way, both teams can be very happy with how they're playing at the moment.
Yeah, and one thing to note, just because we are starting to see a lot of scores be identical, I believe, and I'll have to check again the rule book, but I believe the first deciding factor on a tiebreaker, if I'm not mistaken, is a chicken dinner. Who has the most chicken dinners? So that's also why we see obviously 4 Romanian men ahead right now. So just keep that in mind because I'm starting to see. Look at 7th place. Look at 8th place. I'm starting to see a lot of the same numbers. I mean, 11th and 12th place, both sitting at 45. And the one thing that this is really going to affect, if we have a tie, for example, 16th and 17th, I mean, you never know. Yes. A lot of tournaments have been decided by only 1 point. I don't know if we had a tiebreaker yet. There probably is, right? But I can only imagine if there is a tie for that 16th and 17th, like just so people are aware, it's the chicken dinner. If I'm not mistaken, I'll get back to you, but it's the chicken dinner that decides who goes and who stays.
And, to kind of touch upon a great point you made is, the how many teams are going to be on the same points. Because when you look at 16th place, which is Rosal V at the moment on 33 points. Down in 21st is Shoot to Kill, and they're on 22 points. That is 11 points difference between 7 or 8 places. That is kind of nothing. And here's the thing, Dave. Here's a hot scoop. That's not going to change. I can pretty much bet my bottom dollar that the final game, the 16th spot, is going to come down to 1, maybe 2 points.
For sure. For sure. With how it's going right now, we're starting to see a lot of teams really come together, and you could tell that they're feeling it now. Those, I believe a lot of people put those jitters, those first day jitters. Yeah. They're gone. They're gone. These players, they are here to game. They are here to get these points and here to get the job done when it comes to qualifying and being that top 16. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe our players are loaded up in the plane for our third map of the day. Miramar, I got Imperium. Be our pilot, man. Give us a good circle. Give us a good flight path. Give it to us, Imperium.
Hello, this is your Captain Imperium speaking. Welcome to flight FL107. Heading over from the juicy terrain of, I'm not quite sure because I can't see it. It is Porto Priso all the way over to La Drillera. We see sunny skies in front of us. It's all looking smooth. I hope you all have a damn nice flight.
Smooth like butter. Las Leonas, this plane heavily favoring the southern end. So I'm curious if teams are going to try to parachute out and really spread it thin to get up there to that north area to at least secure themselves some safe loot, or if teams are going to decide just to drop straight down and get involved. Now, one team, we saw 2 games in a row here today, the Republic. They got taken out in 16, 2 games in a row. If I'm that squad right now, I'm doing everything in my power to make sure there are no parachutes near me for at least 100 miles, man. It's just like nowhere near me because I want to be able to get my loot and at least set up with my gear, with my level 2 helmet, my level 2 vest to even take a fight because they have been, just getting hot drop left and right here tonight.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good day for them, and it is going to affect their morale. You're dead right there. And just as you say that, they drop in Impala with no limits. I can respect them for sticking to their guns in terms of their normal drop spot, but based on a plane path that was so southern, I kind of don't get why they didn't maybe think about a secondary drop spot. I know it's PMCO, so when you drop in a different drop spot completely, it can mess up your rotations. But here's the thing: if they're getting taken out so early, Dave, you're not even getting a chance to rotate. So maybe loot up a little bit and back the hell out of there.
Yeah. If you're dead last on the overall leaderboards, I don't even think you're going to worry about rotates at this point. You have to worry about just dropping somewhere and getting a gun without dying in the first 2-3 minutes, right? Like baby steps. I know we got the Teletubbies playing today. I know the Teletubbies, they got that baby sun shining on all of us. But if you are the Republic, take it nice and slow.
For sure.
Just protect your back. Make sure you don't get pushed for free. And just do your best, play your game. And another thing to consider, Imperium, maybe, since they are kind of getting mopped here tonight, maybe they're getting a little tilted. I don't know what the team comms are like. I don't know, who the IGL is off the top of my head. I don't know what that mentality is because I can only imagine they have to be a little discouraged. Getting taken out first 2 games in a row, you're going to be a little down in the slump. So for a team, any team, the thing that really sets apart the good teams and the normal teams is being able to come back, mentally after rough performances.
And that's where a strong IGL comes into play as well, right? The IGL just doesn't make the rotational decisions, the positional decisions. The IGL is the heart, the backbone of helping a team bounce back, right? Of lifting the spirit and helping to turn the focus on what has been two bad results into, hey, let's get something out of this Impala game. So if they do have a strong IGL, then and he's given a chance to shine in this kind of situation, then we hopefully will see a come to light.
All it takes, I mean, top 16 is the goal. You don't need to have anything
So
fancy,
true.
right? Just consistent points, get yourself up there in the top 16, and that is the only thing that matters here in the group stages. 4 Romanian men currently in first place by only a chicken dinner. Whoa, the mini from Dexter up here. That was just smooth, man. You were talking about the butter on the plane. Well, this is butter coming out from Dexter.
So important for them to get that counter knock and even confirm that kill off the back of between grenades and bullets between Dexter and Sushi. Very well secured kill wise for Romanian men. Dexter does have to be careful because he's on the roof of that building on his own. I love that. It's like you have to be careful. Instantly gets a knock and like come on. Beautiful.
Look at this push. Look at this push as well. They get another knock, and they're not going to sit back. They want to make sure to get up close and personal before they revive. On bot, though, vaulting in right there. Just unlucky. Hopefully, they have their squad mates behind them to provide that support so on bot doesn't get thirsted. And it looks that's like what Sushi's doing here, trying to make sure on bot doesn't get thirsted.
Don't
that was too risky.
Through the window. Yeah, don't climb through the window. I love the push from for Romanian men. You called it, but yeah, not through the window. There's plenty of doorways in play. Yeah, I have been able to pull off that revive, to be fair. So they're still up as a full squad, but automatically they've given space to Master Esports, allowed them to get their own revive and pull off a bit of a disengagement. So mistakes made for Romanian men. They'll learn from it.
Yeah, and like you like to say, you don't like to nitpick, right? I like that phrase a lot. I'm not trying to nitpick here, but if bot wouldn't have been knocked right there, I feel like they would have been able to collapse on time and really take it to Master Esports. But like we saw, that one knock, you said it, it gave Master Esports the perfect amount of time to just get out of there and avoid getting squad wiped.
So true. Now, we didn't talk too much about the Phase 1 circle. It is quite northerly, so it definitely is not the best compared to the playing path. It's going to be easier for the teams who have dropped on the coastal lines of this Miramar terrain because it's going to give them an easier path line across the side and come in via the northeast or the northwest of this Phase 1. But for the teams who've dropped between Los Leones and kind of, Picado area, it is going to be a little bit trickier on their rotations.
Ooh, Be My Loot had their best game in game number 1. The last game kind of lackluster. Can't really blame them. They had a couple rough zones. They had to push across the water and just very unfortunate right there. But checking on with Be My Loot right now, Jetmir, don't see where the squad mates are. Jetmir going to be popping in that buggy, avoiding the shots from Jaja, not able to get on out of harm's way. And here we go. The retaliation fire right now coming out from the duo still alive from Be My Loot.
I would have been so disappointed if they hadn't gotten that knock in the vehicle. Now, this is going to be a little bit harder, but Critter Sue Jaja is going to try and fire on up. No, yeah. Able to get into that passion wagon and disengage away. There's still 2 players from Be My Loot, Noya and Shadow.
Did you see that buggy driving backwards by itself? I know I did. So,
I didn't want to acknowledge it.
No scouting. That's the thing that is really concerning to me right now.
Oh, true.
Just kind of sending it. I mean, with only a duo up, this is very risky. I know you're in the bus, and I know the bus, it might make you feel like you're in a tank, but that is not the case.
You know, like obviously the minivan is similar to, you know, those 70s hippie vans, and you get inside and you're just like, yeah, man, let's chill, bro. It's all good, just driving through the sunset of Miramar. You know, maybe you just felt that a little bit more heavily.
Good times, man. Good. Whoa.
Exactly.
Okay, talk about jumping off from above. They took at least 50% damage right there. Very interesting. I mean, 4 Romanian men. I mean, you could tell they're feeling confident. They're just jumping off the cliffs over here, trying to get into an engagement with the Teletubbies.
I will use the whole Teletubbies say hello, at some point. If they get a strong engagement, we're gonna wait it out. I know Teletubbies has a player called Chills who is pretty experienced in PUBG Mobile Tier 1. He's yet to really kind of across the year and a half find a team that, you know, to really evolve his gameplay with. He's gone from team to team. I'm hoping this year is going to be his year because he's a pretty talented player, all things considered.
Well, if you want to start the year off on a good note, it's definitely playing a little closer together and not getting in a bus and just, you know, hoping that the enemies miss their bullets, because that bus already smoking. Dexter was connected on now. That's a big knock on the side of 4 Romanian men, because Dexter has that mini. Dexter has been playing that sniper all game long, and we've seen Dexter. They know how to hit them shots. Like they are connecting that mini like a laser. And I'm curious, 4 Romanian men, are they going to be able? Okay, yeah, thank goodness they were able to pick up Dexter. And I was concerned because we see the map. They got 2 of their members kind of split off on their own little off angles right there.
Yeah, I don't get why the side of Teletubbies just aren't getting the hell out of there. I know their vehicles have been smoked up a little bit, but I do believe they have a bit of a disengagement, whereas it seems like they've spread out to try and look for angles and positions to get an engagement onto 4 Romanian men. So I would prefer to see them get out of there.
Ooh, Dexter. Dexter, come on, hit these shots. I've been gassing you up the last 5 minutes. No kills so far, but if we were to go back and look at the damage on Dexter, I'm sure it's going to be up there for this map. Jeezy, young Jeezy, out here able to peel off and avoid the mini shots from Dexter. Now, these 2 teams going to be right there on the edge. The question for me, how thirsty, I know this is Miramar, but how thirsty are the 4 Romanian men? Like, do they chase down the Teletubbies, or do they just be like, nah, they ran away, they don't want this smoke?
I don't think they should chase it, but playing on edge of circle strategy for 4 Romanian men, and if they can catch out Teletubbies, will complement each other. But don't chase it, because then you get tunnel visioned, narrow-minded, right, and you can get potentially caught out as a Shifu of Hate Gaming chucks up a grenade, not quite going to connect onto the side of 7 Esports, but 7 Esports, although they have a bit of a split of a 2-2, the 2 players that are up on top are not looking too good.
I do like what Shifu's doing, though. Destroyer getting destroyed right there with that 1 grenade, and about a sliver of HP left. Shifu is keeping 7 Esports pinned down. Meanwhile, this is like a 200 IQ thing going on. Jaja trying to pinch him from behind. So if Shifu doesn't get the final nade, which they did, they had that backup plan. You know, Jaja was on the approach right behind him. So that right there, that just demonstrates clean communication. And we see, Jaja showing up like, hey, I was here the whole time. All right, Shifu, I was here to support you. And I like it, man. I like it. I like that we're seeing this communication really be showcased here on Miramar.
Oh, I also love the fact that we're seeing bolt actions in the PMCO. Jaja with the M24. Let's see if he can do a little bit of styling and profiling. And here's the thing. We saw Phase 3 shift down to southeast, and Hate Gaming are now on the northern tip of the circle. It was very important for them to get those 2 kills onto 7 Esports, because it allows them to now focus on rotating a little bit deeper into Phase 3 and getting information and positioning on the teams around them.
And no hate. They took out a duo from 7 Esports, and here's the other duo who is currently still alive, Wizard and Bazooka. They did hear that vehicle run right past them or drive right past them, 2-door. Not sure exactly what they're doing. They're going to be out here kind of off by themselves, maybe doing some scouting to relay back to their squad mates that, hey, I found the pathway, guys. That's not going to be the case here, though. They do have a VSS, so I got to give them some respect points for that one.
I like how nice you're being. I wouldn't, but
Hey, if you got a VSS, respect in my book. All right, Imperium, relax.
Okay.
The Winchester, the double barrel shotgun, the VSS, some of my favorite weapons. Like I would pick that over anything.
Whoa.
What?
Okay.
Whoa.
The Winchester is miles ahead of the VSS. Miles ahead.
No, you're crazy.
Like,
you're crazy.
It's the coolest gun in PUBG Mobile.
It's the coolest one, but man, I mean, it feels good to shoot, but I'd rather have the VSS with an extended mag. Just spray that bad boy. You're guaranteed to hit one bullet, right? I mean, people make fun of me for my loadouts. Every time I post a clip, anytime I post a video, people are always like, Dave, what is your loadout? Because I always got a shotgun, and I might have a Vector or like I said, a VSS. Like that's just how I roll, baby. That's just how I roll. All right, relax, guys. Relax out there.
You know what? Different strokes for different folks, and it's not what you have, it's what you do with it, right? So, you know, I respect you for that, my guy.
I think I got a chicken dinner at least once in my life. I'm not sure. I'll have to run back and check. But checking on with this game, this is new. I mean, at least looking back at games 1 and 2, the Republic still alive, Imperium, still alive. This is good.
We have all 16 teams alive. 47 players now, so a couple of teams are down to 1 on the northwestern edge in the blue. The side of 7 Esports are...
The blue zone.
No way. No limits? God. Taken out to the blue zone by Republic of Kosovo? Nice.
No limits, a.k.a. no meds. That's what the chat's saying. No meds.
I'm just happy to see Republic of Kosovo have a better game. I'm genuinely happy to see that.
Their best game yet here today.
It wasn't going to be hard to beat, though. Actually, no, game 1. Yeah, it wasn't going to be hard to beat.
Checking on in with the game. Imperium. Next zone did go on up. Graveyard. Okay, up there to the north. Teletubbies still alive. Teletubbies, they have been like a bullet sponge here in this game. They are just driving all over the place. They're getting shot from everybody. If there was a team gathering information on where opponents might be, Teletubbies, their book of information right now has to be just stacked to the rim with all the shots that they have been receiving. 4 Romanian men rotating. They got another squad right underneath them. And once again, Teletubbies popping in that bus, popping in the Teletubby bus, man. Just let's
Full
see.
squad 1 vehicle. No.
Yeah, it's been working so far, but that can only. How long is that gonna work? You know?
I'm biting my nails, Dave. I'm biting my nails. I can't see that lasting for too long, depending on how long they actually drive. On a side note, with the circle shift, it makes La Bandita a very strong position to hold on to, but with a couple of teams already around there, we are seeing a couple of casualties. The side of Uncalled For, the winners of Game 2 in Sanhok, taking a 2 to side the guys, and 2 members down, just Bebe and Segway left up.
Yeah, segue right there. That was just such a nice angle. They saw Uncalled For just caressed on over the hill and immediately tried to take those shots. Going to have their second chance to go at it. A little 2-2 split happening right now from Uncalled For. We're utilizing both sides of this mountain now within grenade range.
Beautiful. It's such a good 2-2 split by Uncalled For. They need to be careful that they're not third party, but when you're talking about focusing and really going for that diamond cutter pinch, Uncalled For are definitely making it work. They don't know what's going on either side, but Gringo is going to get knocked down. It's a double knockdown for Bebe. Wow. What a great turnaround. It was, I don't know if it was helped by a third party, but either way, great response by Gasian.
I mean, Gringo is trying to snake up and be that little worm in the dirt and catch him off guard, but I feel like that's what got him killed right there. That's what got him killed. And not only that, I feel like when Gringo started to approach, that was the moment for the other duo with that 2-2 split to pop up from their end and really get that crossfire going on. Timing, just a little off right there for me, but let's see. Let's see. There's still a duo up. They're right there on the edge of the blue zone.
Next circle shifts up. It centers quite nicely. Going to go in the favor of Entropic, who are still up as a full squad, as well as Hate Gaming. And I'm very happy to see Entropic coming into phase 5 or so as a full squad, because I want to see them do something with that as well as getting kills.
Did you see that? Noya right there using 2 members as bait from the Republic in a bush, popping out of the bush, spraying down herbs right there. Let's see, Wolf really needs to get these shots off. Noya trying to get that final thirst right there. Wolf going to be tossing a grenade, trying to go fishing with these grenades. Noya so low in the health department right here. I believe this is a 1v1. Wolf cooking a grenade. Noya really low in the health department. Noya dodged from the zone. Wolf just throwing a grenade out there on top of that dead body.
4 remaining, man. 2 players knocked down. They're going to be in between Entropic and Rosovia. Another one goes down. They get squad right. Nicely done by both Entropic and Rosovia to wipe out the current leaders of this PMCO group stage. And it's going to be quite respectful for both of these sides. They do have to be careful of each other now that they've taken away an opponent around them.
Popping the tires, UCU with that single tap, popping the tires. This is smart. You want to limit the potential for that utility when it comes to those vehicles, especially in that late game. I love this spot that they're in too. They got the high ground, they got the hard cover. They're just peeking out their windows and trying to inflict as much damage as possible. Wolf, how many grenades? Wolf, once again, we pop back over to Wolf, tossing his grenades, trying to get the duo wipe right here. Uh-oh. A wolf versus a goat. Which animal comes out on top of this one?
Of course a wolf, man. You know?
I think a goat.
Wolf
I think
always
a goat.
beats it. Really? You're going for the goat?
You got wolf, I got goat. How about that?
Okay, fair enough. I can feel that. But you could have a Norfen. I don't know what animal Norfen is, but a Norfen, either way, could third party. It's the side of Republic of Kosovo. They're going to lose their lives. We're down to 9 teams, 21 players. This is phase 6 is about to spawn up, Dave.
Goats have those horns, man. Those things, they'll hurt, you know? They'll headbutt you, and they will hurt. So I'm looking forward to seeing that engagement over here. Wolf going to be right there on the edge. They are 100% aware of each other because Wolf was tossing some grenades over in Goat's direction just a couple moments ago. Pretty much these 2 solos just trying to fight it out for placement points and that kill point, as we have 9 teams to go still. I mean, that's a lot of teams still this late in the game.
Look at this phase 6 circle. It's all flat outside of the compound that's held on to by Entropic. The one good thing for Hate Gaming, who's on the western side of the circle, is that there's not too many teams around them. The negative thing is that in front of them, it's all open. There's a couple of little grooves and dips, but either way, navigating and surviving moving into this circle on the east is going to be so challenging, while Entropic on the eastern side hold on to a beautiful 2-2 split.
Yeah, Entropic, they have their hard cover, mixed squad. They really need to get a knock here and push on over that ledge. And now is the time. Now is the perfect time because they're positioned behind that little mountain. Those hills is not in the next zone. Backfire, takes some shots. Cosmo is going for that YOLO send, just trying to survive right there on the edge. Taken down and out. There they go. Done and dusted here on Miramar. 6 teams to go. Mixed squad. They need to come up with the game plan. They got those smokes. Oh, but Bazooka with the barrel. Still clocking in, getting some kills here, Imperium.
Bazooka, that Veruca, my friend, and the Veruca was that player of Hate Gaming. Now they're still up as a 3-man team, and to be fair, I didn't think the compound they were in was quite inside the circle, but it is, so fair play. They don't have to move away. While the side of Mixed Squad are gonna have to encroach on the space of Entropic.
Oh, Bazooka, I don't know if that grenade went in. These grenades are bouncing off the wall. Bazooka's looking behind him like, okay, my grenades might just kill me. Third time is the charm. Bazooka, you're doing more damage to yourself right there. And yeah, Shifu gonna pop the corner and be like, Bazooka, relax with those grenades. Thank you very much. Mixed Squad, though, finally making the breach on Entropics.
Yeah, they had to do it. They really had to do it. There's no point in Gaduna half strong. Now it is 3v4. It's in one corner. Koa is getting taken down to just over half health. Now a nice little bit of a tickle from the one of the players of Entropic, but they do have to be careful. There could be a potential third party. A Sans causes Sans at times. Knockdown onto Koa. It's going to be confirmed up. 4v2. Entropic have this fight in their hands. Can they win it? Can they lose it?
Got the molly over here, the pre-fire from backfire able to connect, and now there's just one more squad mate. Dynamic with the Tommy gun and the Dream. Needs to get the squad right. Stands popping on over the pre-fire. 3v1.
Perfect.
Just too challenging for Dynamic. Entropics, 12 kills. 12 kills, Imperium.
This is what I want to see from Entropic. Circle position with the aggression. 12 kills, that's a result, but phase 7 shifted away, and that gave space to Hate Gaming. We're down to our final 2 teams, just like that in a 4v3. Entropic, they may have the manpower, Dave, but Hate Gaming, they have the position.
Hate Gaming have the zone all to themselves, but look at these smokes. These smokes are just, mwah. They are beautiful right now. Jaja prone right there. Waiting. Grenade from Jaja is going to make it an even 3v3.
Oh, and then it's going to be another one onto Sans. Instantly returned onto him, so it is a clean 2v2 off the back of the double knock from Entropic. I don't know if they have the time to go for the revives. Jaja could get touched upon. Shia on the Dale. Sans is going to get confirmed up. Mooney, I think he's on his own in a 1v2. Hater, what is your position doing? You've got to be a little bit more distracting, a little bit more aggressive while the revive is being pulled out onto Jaja. I think, like, he's not directly doing enough, but now he's going to push in on forward. It is going to be backfire again, confirmed up. It is 1v3. Jaja's position inside the circle has gotten them the chicken dinner in Miramar.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Shifu. 8 kills that game alone. Oh my goodness. I mean, okay, I know the chat, they're going to go crazy. All right, Hate Gaming, they had the zone at the end. Yeah, they might have, but they played it so well because you got to also give it to Entropic. There's smokes right there. Their use of utility to even push a little closer. Remember, Imperium, you call it out. It's just an open field, an open dirt field. Like there is no cover. So, you know, for Entropics to pretty much make all that soft cover and just give them that fighting chance, very impressive. Not only that, they had to take out Mixed Squad right before that, so they didn't have a lot of time to kind of regroup, calm down, you know, the nerves from that previous team fight. Like they had to get that team fight and immediately send it to that next zone.
And also credit to Entropic. A lot of other teams in the situation that Entropic face against Mixed Squad, they would be a bit slower to get that engage, whereas Entropic have talked about how aggressive they are. They knew they didn't have the time. They knew they had to go in hard. They knew I'm pretty sure they knew they had the man advantage as well, and they really turned that in quick time, and it did allow them just a few more seconds to at least throw out those smokes. I have to give credit though to Jaja, because there's one thing getting a knock with a grenade, but instead of staying prone down like a lot of players would, Jaja got up, stayed up, and got the second knock. That was the most important moment for Hate Gaming in that game because it instantly turned it around and made it a 2v2.
Yeah, definitely the deciding factor, or at least one of them, right? I mean, there's multiple ones, multiple little micro plays that added up towards the
For
end,
sure.
but that one grenade, just the instincts to know where to place that grenade, because smokes were everywhere. Like, honestly, that grenade could have went anywhere, would have missed, but that one grenade was money. Money. I have to go back real quick, though, to the mix squad, fight right there. Once when I saw Cal 77 get taken out first, I was like, mix squad. Because yesterday, Cal 77, clutch. Like, at least for me, Cal 77 is one of the clutch players, like able to clutch it out. Yesterday, yesterday it was, I think it was like a 1v3. Cal 77 took out the pan. Took out the pan and tried throwing the pan at somebody and knock them out. Like, right then and there, like, okay, Cal 77, you got my attention. And then actually got that clutch and won the game for the team. So once when they were taken out because they're a little overextended from the rest of your squad mates, I was like, mixed squad, you could have had it. You could have had it. Hey, but it's it's hectic, right? I mean, it's the last zone. Teams are everywhere. Shots are ringing everywhere. The pressure's on. You need to push the blue zone right behind you. Totally understand. It was just a clean fight. That's all I'm saying, man. It was just a good fight all together from everybody.
And, one interesting stuff from the points of that game is that the top two, Hate Gaming and Entropic, 27 points between the two of them. 15 for Hate Gaming, 12 for Entropic. That is a massive hoovering of kills compared to the rest of the lobby. So really, a lot of points taken away from those two teams alone.
Well, what a day. What a day. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got one more map to go for the EU West PMCO group stages. Do not go anywhere. Teams are heating up. They are ready to go. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and a huge shout out to you, the viewers, and the sponsor, Xiaomi. Innovation for everyone, including Imperium. All right, I got you in there this time. My goodness, what a day. Let's bring up the leaderboards. Let's just bring up the leaderboards because we are having some movers and shakers here. Imperium, 122 points for Hate Gaming.
I normally try not to focus too much on the top of the standings at the group stage because it's kind of about getting into the top 16. But you have to recognize that for Romanian men and Hate Gaming, they've been trading first and second for the whole day. And what a message for Hate Gaming to send to four Romanian men. They're both on 2 chicken dinners. But remember, at the end of the last game, when I talked about Hate Gaming being a little bit more consistent, that is it. 23 points ahead of four Romanian men coming into the final game.
23 points. And to put that into perspective, that's more points than you would get from a chicken dinner. One chicken dinner, you'll get 15 points. So we could pretty much say that they're ahead of four Romanian men by a little more than a chicken dinner. And we know getting a chicken dinner is really challenging, especially with the caliber of the competition here. So, Hate Gaming, another thing to note, they are in Group C. So when I'm going to keep bringing this up because for me, this is a big story because it's a big story when it comes to the fight, the race for first and second. Now, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, bragging rights. Yeah. But Hate Gaming, Group C, they will be playing the last day. Okay. And for Romanian men, they are not playing the last day. So for that race, for that first place spot, if these two teams are trying to duke it out, for Romanian men, they're going to need to keep that in mind.
They definitely will. Moving down the leaderboard, it's nice to see Entropic move up to 10th on the back of what has been a fantastic third game in Miramar for them. Shades of what I really want to see from them moving forward. And even moving onto the second half of the standings, which is pretty much, to be fair, more important. Rosovia still in 16th, but once again, that extra game hasn't really benefited them because Exotic Alliance X team, who haven't played today, they're only 1 point behind. So you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that coming into tomorrow's games, we're going to see a lot of teams, move back down to the second half of the standings. And that's worrying.
Yeah. And 1 point, that's one kill. It's just, I'm starting to get a little more invested with these teams. I'm starting to become more of a fanboy, for certain teams. And, if they don't qualify by only 1 point, that's going to be hard for me. I can only imagine the players. It's like, my goodness, we made it this far, but we couldn't move on to that next stage by only 1 point. So that's why every single game, it matters. It matters so much, especially when looking at these two groups. 5 more games to go, Imperium. That's it.
5 more games to go. But we do have one more game today, right? We're going to be moving into the green pastures of Erangel, right? The bookmark, the map where it all began. And Dave, I can guarantee you it's going to be a damn good one.
It's going to be a good one. And guess what?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Captain Mustache Dave speaking here, and this is the final map of day number 3, EU West PMCO group stages. Thank you for joining us this evening, and sit back, relax, make sure your headrests aren't too far back to annoy your passenger fellows behind you, but let's get right on into this game. The plane is going to be starting up here to the north, ending right on over military base. Thank you for flying Erangel Air.
That's what I was hoping for. What a beautiful moment. Just savor it.
You have a tear?
But anyway,
from your eye? Is there a tear? I can see a tear.
Just
a tear. A tear. I deserve an Oscar after that. Give me the Oscar. You guys have Oscars in the EU, right? No, you don't. You don't. You got like biscuits and gravy. Let me get some biscuits and gravy.
What?
Do you guys celebrate the Oscars over there? I don't know.
Yeah,
Hey.
well,
Hey, am I right? Am I right?
I don't know
right?
what. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Okay, I'm right. I'm right. Let's get into this game, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at the map, okay, we got a squad dropping military base and Zone 1, Imperium. What stands out to you?
What stands out is that we have two teams in Rozhok, which is the side of Republic of Kosovo, which once again getting caught with a team in another city, and it worries me
This
that
hurts.
they're not doing it. They're not doing their research, Dave. Right? You know, one game I can get dropping in with somebody else, maybe two games in a different area, but when you're getting caught with another team in a compound in a city 3 games in a row, it hurts and it shows their lack of research.
Let's see. No Hate, also another team. We really haven't seen too much from them here tonight. They do got those shotguns. AZ with the Scar spray down. Octavian peeking their head on in the door saying, hello, take this 12 gauge to your face. Able to connect just a couple of those pellets, but not the full thing. Laz still here with the Scar, with the pre-fire. We'll be getting 1 point. Okay, the Republic, hey, 1 point so far on the board.
Well, to be fair, they had a bit of a more confident game in Miramar, even though they dropped with another team, they disengaged away nicely. And going up against No Hate, I think No Hate presumed a little bit too much about them having control of this fight. And one went in through the doorway on his own and paid the price. And Octavian did try to follow suit, but a shotgun against Scar, I know it's close range, but the pre-fires, as you pointed out, was very beneficial for Ilaz. And I will note that Jack was very much waiting in the wings of the lower part of the hill outside the house, ready to counter knock. So Republic of Kosovo getting another knockdown.
Jack with that DP. And I believe Nissi knows exactly where Jaguar is. I mean, Jaguar, no helmet, no weapon, nada, nothing. Just a nice looking red ball cap, and that's about it right there. So Nissi popping out, taking the safe route here. Very interesting, taking the safe route to regroup with their squad mates. And Jaguar, I mean, talk about lucky shamrocks here, Imperium.
Yeah, he's definitely hoping he has the look of the Irish on his side as Jack goes for a couple of pre-fire shots by the broken wall. I will note that Republic of Kosovo, they only have 3 players in Rozhok, even though they're a full squad, because one of the players actually dropped just outside Severny. Now, I don't know if he didn't get the memo that they were dropping as a full squad in Rozhok, or that was a planned move by them. I'm wondering what the logic is behind it, because normally if you're going to drop in somewhere like Rozhok, you do it as a full squad. But it's working out for this team so far, at least.
Jack spotted Octavian. I'm gonna say it was planned. I'm gonna take the bold guess and say it was planned. Because it hasn't been working out too well here on the drops for the Republic. So I'm gonna say it's planned because this is the reason. If 3 of them were to hot drop, go for that risky play early on and get wiped out, well, guess what? They still have that solo to kind of be that insurance policy and at least have the option to possibly get some placement points. All right, so that's why I'm going to say it's planned. But checking on over here, another stalemate in Yasnaya. Okay.
Yeah, the side of Deus Legion had a fantastic start to today's game. They've fallen down a little bit across the Sanhok and Miramar game. They're still in 5th overall, so by all means, their position in the overall standings is extremely safe, whereas Rozovia, I can't say the same thing about them. They're currently in 16th. They're going to need all the points that they can get to try and create some form of cushion against the teams around them. And right now, it's not looking too good because DTT has them pinched and gets one knocked down.
Oh, no way. That is exactly what I was worried about. I was looking at Busta. Busta was healing up, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, Busta, please, you cannot be that close because the Dacia was burning already, but Busta was right there. You see you. Catching the bullets from the Uzi right there.
Woohoo, man, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Sanks is going to be playing in that building on his own, but he does have the players of, Deus Legion very much surrounding him. Look at Sava on that building across the road. Definitely has more of an angle on the Sankiz. That's going to create a tiny bit of a distraction while the rest of Deus Legion pulls up the stairs. FPP mode, definitely a good choice for Sankins, but I just don't know how long he's going to survive.
3, B, 1. Sandkiss listening in very carefully right now. Listening in. Hearing the footsteps crawl their way up the stairwell. Only a matter of time. The pre-fire with the DPs. Scout Legion gonna be breaching the room, and just like that, done.
And fair play today, it's Legion. They didn't take it for granted, sending 3 of their players up. 1 got knocked. 2 players there to pick up that final kill. Just really strong stuff from Deus Legion, and it'll be good if they end on a high note. And if they end on a high note in this game, I don't know if you noticed it in their first 4 games, but it could be a pattern where they are strongest on Erangel. On one hand, that's not a bad thing because the most amount of games are played on Erangel, but on the other hand, you do generally want to be pretty strong across the 3 maps here in the PMCO.
You do, but looking ahead, in the future, I mean, they're in 5th place, so you have to assume if they continue on with their current, progression, they should make it to the finals. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but the finals is going to be 8 games of Erangel and then 4 Sanhok, 4 Miramar. So think about this. Woo! If you could perform really well on 50% of the map pool, you're already looking good. I mean, that's 50%. That's 50% of the PMCO Finals. So, the DPs are just too damn strong. I mean, that's why we see it. It's such an influential weapon here in the meta, in competitive. If you're not rocking, if you don't at least have 2 squad mates with a DP here on Erangel, like, what are you doing? The DP is just too good.
And it's a shame because, Entropic had such a good game 3 that I was feeling so positive about them coming into this final game, and yet they've lost 2 players and they're down to 2. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, but just, stopping, going into all chat, going, hey, how you doing, my friend? Because, there is one thing to know. There's a lot of friendly rivalries in the EU region, right? So I'm sure they'll be having I hope so, they'll be having a little bit of a laugh in all chat with each other.
And this is hate gaming, and what I see right now, already 2 kills.
Yeah.
What I see right now is, and it's not a bad thing, an overly confident team. It's not a bad thing, but they are definitely out here just running around now, just looking for some action, right? I mean, that's exactly what I see coming out from them, and for good reason. I mean, currently in 1st place by 23 points, so they have a lot of room to work with. And remember, 1st place, 16th place, tomato, it doesn't matter. As long as you are in that top 16, you will be moving on into that next round. So honestly, right now, Hate Gaming, they could take advantage of their current position and maybe practice some new strategies, Imperium.
So true. They definitely could. Phase 2 did pop up in the center quite nicely. It's in quite a common position for a lot of these teams. You have the Login Hills, you have Prison in play, you have to the west of Prison and Mansion. What I love about Master Esports, who are on our screens, is they utilize the north of the river for their rotation, so they'll be able to come in via the northwest of Yasnaya and basically end up to the west of Pubg. So really nice rotation from them.
I mean, you said it's circle 2 for a second there. I was like, what? We're only in circle. I mean, we've been seeing some pretty solid early game action here. That's why I had to like double check. Like, what? We're only in circle 2, and that's something we tend to see a lot of times towards the end of the evening. Is teams, they're just playing a little more loose. They're feeling a little more confident in their abilities, and they're really fine tuned. They're warmed up now. So that's why we tend to see, at least from what I can tell and what I have observed in the past, the final matches of any tournament are always the best when it comes to the teams and how they play.
Okay. That's true. That's true. One thing that can sometimes be a part of it, even though it's only 4 games, but a lot of these teams could have played scrims before PMCO. They could be playing scrims after PMCO. Maybe they're a little bit tired, but when you do get to that last game, you might be a bit more tired, a little bit less focused, and a mistake or two could show up. So it is something to always consider when you're coming into that final game. Hey, slap yourself a little bit. Make sure you're at your full attention so you can do the best job for your side.
I mean, okay, yeah, for sure. You might be a little more tired, but then at the same time, you might be too tired to overthink certain situations. You see what I'm saying? So they're not overthinking things no more. They're just going with their muscle memory, and that's where we start to see them really, like I said, play loose and pop off and get involved in a lot more riskier team fights. But for the most part, I guess I'm talking from a viewer's perspective. Obviously, if you are a player, you're going to want to be on your P's and Q's, full on focus mode. But that's just my observation here.
Phase 3 centered up quite nicely, and it's a very solid phase 3, but it could lure a few teams into a false sense of security in terms of, hey, we're good in this phase 3. We don't have to move for phase 4. Don't be afraid on this phase to reposition a little bit, maybe take a bit of a fight, take a couple of pop shots to try and create a bit more space before phase 4 does show up. Most of the teams are already inside the circle, right? To be fair, Dave. So I kind of get, if you have a lot of information, you don't want to make too much noise because you could get third-partied by a couple of teams.
One of the Teletubbies getting a nice little explosion right there. I'm just checking out the overall rankings real quick. I'm trying to see what teams really need to. Woo, chills. Oh, was Shadow in a vehicle moving though? I mean, was that no? Shadow's over there. Okay. But yeah, Gaijin, Ronin. Okay, Teletubbies, Be My Loot. Those are 3 teams this game that I kind of want to pay attention to, because they are not on the first page, right? So they need to really have a good game end off today to allow them to have a solid chance to qualify. Because remember, after this game, these 2 groups, they only have 1 more day to go, right? Only 1 more day. So those 3 teams, if we can, Imperium, if we can kind of pay a little more attention to them. So, Rowan, Be My Loot, Teletubbies.
Let's keep an eye on what they're going to be doing towards this phase 4 onwards. While Entropic are staying on the eastern side of this map, inside prison, it's not bad because it's on the edge of circle. If they were there when prison is in the center of the circle, I'd be like, that's a no-no, my friends. Are you asking for trouble? But because it's on the edge, it's going to be pretty good. But no, hey, Tudor is there. Surprise, mother trucker. You just got a player taken out.
So, you shot me off guard with that one, man.
Thank you, man.
Okay, I like that. I like that one. Oh, man. What a strong spot, too. What used to be a strong spot. I mean, honestly, though, they lost Octavian. This is our squad that they're kind of dead to rights against the Republic very early on here in Rozhok. So we're already at that disadvantage. Hey, Tudor, though, the double barrel shotgun. So we were talking about last game, the VSS, you get some respect points. Well, Tudor, respect points on the Dave book. And next zone does gone up a little shifterino over there to the east side. We got a couple squads who need to move, need to move sooner rather than later. But looking at Rich right now in the smokes. You could tell by the way they're posturing. They want to flush this player out. They want to take him out.
Well, they have to, because they need to think about the fact that the circle is going to be enclosing in pretty soon. They're outside the circle, and down south of where they are, it's pretty open, and securing a position inside the circle from where they are right now is not going to be easy. One thing to think about is Jaguar from No Hay, who was the second player left standing for that side, has come in from behind and taken down one of the players of DLC.
Yeah, that Jaguar right there, definitely saying surprise, hello. You know, you guys might have counted me out. Two-door, double barrel shotgun, looking right into a doorway. This is a doorway I would not want to move, but two-door letting one of these shots off, so that's going to give the enemies pushing an idea. There's a 12 gauge waiting to just blow you away. Jaguar still on the outskirts, is going to be spotted. Two-door needs to make a move right now. Needs to make something happen.
Man, I saw what he was trying to do. He's trying to go for the bait, but unfortunately it didn't work out, and Rich and Vast were ready for it inside the corner. He's going to be hunkering down by a box. Whoa! He's going to get spotted out through the window. Vassy takes him down.
Unlucky. Vassy right there through the window, through the doorway, was able to just spot out Two-door. Two-door didn't even see him right there. Wow. I mean, that goes to show you how important it is to just know your angles and know where you might be exposed to. Wow.
Man. Oh, the side of uncalled for in the near center of the circle. Prone down, blowing up their vehicle, so it gives them a little bit more protection without losing their health. Gun to the east of them. You have the side of Seven Seas to the northwest, and then just to the west of them, it is the side of Mixed Squad.
Okay. With the mini zoomed in, aiming right on top of their faces, able to get some nice shots off. Uncalled for, kind of collateral damage, getting pinned right between these two teams fighting over here in this field. And looking at the stats, uncalled for, not a team that favors aggression. They like to get their placement points, right? They like to place high, as they currently have 42 total placement points with 26 kills. So don't get me wrong, they're definitely popping off, but looking at the pack that they're surrounded by, they have the lowest amount of kills. So wouldn't be surprised if uncalled for just remain in the wheat fields, try to just avoid this fight, play undetected, and just continue getting those placement points in. Next zone does go on up, so at least two members from uncalled for are going to be favored in this one. Really though, I mean, all these teams to the north, Imperium, like, they need to move now.
Yeah, and that's why I liked Gun's position on the previous phase, because it was a real nice spread on the eastern edge of the circle, and it's allowed them to create a little bit more control and easier basically rotation now onto the south side of this next phase, while the teams up north are going to have a little bit of a trickier job. It's a great shift for the side of Be My Loot, as they're now in the near center of this phase, while Mixed Squad Dynamics on his own. The best thing he can do is just play for a little bit of a heel strap possibly, or catching out a couple of players in the blue zone.
Ooh, might even spot out an enemy out there, kind of thinking twice if they should take that shot or not. Oh, yep, they took it. They took it. There's a point right there. You got to take what you can get, especially when you are that solo member. Teletubby's going to be forced to push on out of their little dip, popping on over here. The Republic, 3 kills, 2 alive right here. They are not slowing down, and that's exactly what they need. They need to acquire all the points possible, because day number 1, they didn't really do much. So they're playing that catch-up game. They're definitely playing that catch-up game here.
Well, 4 Romanian men are holding on to this museum building that's on the northeast eastern side of the circle. They've got 7Cs crashing in behind them around the side of the wall. One of their players was knocked down, but it has been revived up. The heal is going to come on through. That's going to be a grenade cook looking for a Mooney of Entropic. So Bazooka very much aware of potential players around them. And, you know, 7Cs might be by the museum building, but they're definitely not in the clear.
And this is, at this point, just a classic 70s sports move. Smoke yourself, heal on up. Teletubbies, though. Teletubbies trying to make a breach, and 4 kills so far.
Yes.
I mentioned it. Day number 1, game 4, Teletubbies, that is when they flipped that switch and they turned on. And I gotta say, that's the same thing that's happening right now. They're breaching compounds. They're right smack in the middle, still taking the fight with Be My Loot.
And to be fair, they had been kind of outside of that area for quite a while, looking in towards that compound. So they had a lot of information, and it gave them the confidence to crash in. And Chills, he's good with a sniper. He's also good with a grenade. He gets a knockdown, but push it, Teletubbies, push it. Take advantage of it. Wipe out the squad that's in front of you. You know you have 4 members up. At most, there's 3 players, but you've already secured a kill, but they haven't done it. They've allowed the revive to pull on through, and honestly, that could come back to bite them in the ass, even though the next phase has popped up and they are in the circle.
Yeah, I don't think this building is in the circle. I think the broken wall is, so they're gonna have to make sure. They're gonna have to make sure to take out Be My Loot if they want to continue to survive. Be My Loot also dealing with some stragglers making their way on in. That's the Republic. Jack about 2% HP. Jeezy, Teletubbies, they're still trying to get these grenades. They used at least 10 grenades at this point. I kind of agree with you. I mean, just push it already.
Push it real good. Do 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 do. I had to, man. I had to.
There goes Jack. You did it, man. You did it. I mean, hey, I get it though. Teletubbies, late game, they got 4 up. They don't want to risk it too much. The quick swap arena right there, uncalled for. I don't know. Okay, a little questionable right there, but it is what it is. 5 teams to go.
5 teams to go, and Gun are doing a fantastic job on the southeastern side of the circle. Still up as a full squad, and I talked about their rotations and positions from 2 phases ago. They're carrying it through. They're being controlling, and now with just 4 teams up, it is most likely going to come down to the side of Gun and Teletubbies. But Be My Loot, they might not be inside the circle, but look at the smokes. It's giving over information, but a grenade's being chucked up.
This, and you called it a couple minutes ago. Be My Loot, Teletubbies not being aggressive on them and taking them down after having so many knocks. It might bite them in the butt here. It just might bite them in the butt. Teletubbies, they need to make sure to be aware. Shadow! Trying to get some shots in. Was taken out, but I want to say that was mainly from that third party from across the way. So Teletubbies, honestly, lucking out big time.
And Teletubbies could also help Gun by taking out the last player of Master Esports. Alvi is still safe in this circle, but the next one pops up. Depending on how it goes, they definitely could help it. Either way, 3 teams, 9 players, 4v4v1, and Gun are already throwing out a couple of smokes to prepare for this next phase. It shifts on up, and it goes just about in the favor of Teletubbies.
6 kills on to the Teletubbies. I don't know if that little corner, I don't think that's in play anymore. And that's when we start to see Gamers United reposition. Wolf in the back lines, is aware, can smell something over here. OP, tossing out some smokes, the solo player from Master Esports. Could have really played spoiler here on the side of our squad, Gamers Unite.
Well, Wolf is aware of that, and I find it a little bit worrisome that he's going in on his own and going on the heel shot. Master Albi, call it luck, call it destiny, but he gets that knockdown. Luckily, Kraken is behind. and is able to stop Alvi from confirming that kill. I believe it was Teletubbies that stole that one away. I don't think the heal strat is going to come on through in time. He's going to go out. However, it is going to be the side of Teletubbies that have the man advantage 4v3.
Woo! Herb with the spray down in the smoke's able to connect, but the retaliation shots with the DP. Teletubbies getting ate up. You gotta get him up. Here we pushing into the next zone. DP warfare right now, Imperium.
Oh, that was a well-needed kill for the side of Gun. But Jakob, he finds a Herb. You said the DP28 battle isn't soon, and it doesn't look like it's gonna stop.
And we see them, they're proning too. That just increases the accuracy. 3 Teletubbies and a dream right now.
Herbs is knocked down. If Kraken can make his way down the hill to go for the revive, that'd be good. But all that while, Teletubbies, Chills is pushing on forward. Gonna be the frontline player. Lovely grenade being cooked up. That's gonna be a Kobe. That's gonna be a knockdown onto Chills. And that is just a little bit of time for Gun.
That makes it a 2v2, and that's a big knockout because Chills has been on the ball here in this match. Nat running across the open field, spotted though, the 2v1 with the M4, the Teletubbies not able to come out on top. They did get that second place finish. Man, yeah, Imperium, that one grenade onto Chills, I knew it had to have been the tides shifting over there towards our squad of Gamers Unite. But look at the kills. Gamers Unite, I mean, well-deserved chicken dinner here.
Yeah, they got 9 points in the Miramar game. They come into the final game, get a chicken dinner, get 14 kills, and it was, I know I said it during the game, it was all down to that position on the eastern side from, I think, phase 4, maybe phase 5, where they had a nice 2-2 spread just to the north of Prison. And then when that circle shifted down south, yeah, were they probably looked out by the fact that most teams were on the northwest and west, 110%, but at the end of the day, they still pushed teams back in a pretty solid way at that time frame. So when they had to move away, they had way more time, way more control, and way more space. Lovely job by Gun.
Lovely job. Lovely job. And you know what? Teletubbies, Teletubbies, you made me proud. I'm still proud of you. I am proud of you. All right, Teletubbies, give yourself a pat on the back.
For sure.
Great game from them. What a game, though. I mean, we saw a lot of pretty much action all game long. I mean, I don't think there was really ever a dull moment that game. I mean, straight from the drop, right? I mean, the Republic. Oh, dude, I just saw Leaderboard.
No.
The Republic, they got taken out. Did they just get taken out in 16th this game as well? I think they did. Who was at the bottom?
But it was the side that finished last in that game, I think, was Rosalvia and Republic of Kosovo. Okay. They finished 9th, but it's still only 1 point for 9th, as far as I know.
Okay, hey, slow and steady, right? Slow and steady. That's all you could do. I mean, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. If you had one really rough day, it's gonna be a challenge because at that point you're just playing catch up, right? You're just playing catch up. But let's see, Imperium leaderboards, man. That's what everybody wants to see. Bring up the leaderboards.
Let's go. Hate Gaming, although it wasn't the best of last games for them, was still enough to keep them on the top of the standings. The 4 Romanian men, a better game from them here in the last game. I think they got 11 points with 5 kills. So that has definitely decreased the lead to just 15 points, which is, as we know, one chicken dinner. But Gamers Unite Nations, the last game of the day, they moved themselves up to 3rd place.
Imperium, all I see right now, Teletubbies! Let's go! Teletubbies, man. They started today, I think, 2nd to last, maybe 3rd to last. That is what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see teams on that second page really make that comeback and really, show us what they're made out of. I mean, that's what we're all here to watch. And here's that next page. I mean, Exotic Alliance, they'll be playing tomorrow. GSG playing tomorrow. Be My Loot, they also moved up a little bit here today.
They moved up a little bit, but I can't help but feel, without trying to, cancel people out before the tournament is over, I just can't see it being enough, because when you look at teams ahead of them that have extra 4 games like GSG Europe, Exotic Alliance X Team, the side of Panda, for example. I know they're in 12th, but my point is, I just can't see Be My Loot being able to close the gap enough in the final 4 games to really make up the points needed to get into the top 16 at the end of the group stages. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I just can't see it happening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude day number 3 of the EU West PMCO group stage. A and C, those 2 groups, they have only 4 more games to go. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a challenge. But you know what? That is exactly what these teams signed up for the challenge to prove not only themselves but the entirety of the world. Right? $14 million USD is on the line for the total prize pool of 2021, and they're trying to get a piece of that. They are trying to live the dream, Imperium. Any final thoughts before we send off these lovely people here today, Imperium?
Yeah, it is important that the teams who played today, they look back on the VOD, they do their research, and they try not to stress about it too much. Yeah, their potential of climbing back into the top 16 is definitely on the hands of the teams that play tomorrow, but they shouldn't worry about it for now. They just need to focus on improving as a team themselves, and whatever happens after that is whatever happens.
Whatever happens, happens. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We know you love Imperium, so make sure you follow the channel. I think this guy is going to be back here very shortly with some North American action. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we will be here. Same time, same place. Don't miss it.